Hi, everybody. Today we're going to talk about methylene blue. So this has become a super hot and fascinating topic, and there's many reasons why everybody's talking about it. So the fascinating history of methylene blue is that it's been around for 100 years. It was originally developed, actually over 100 years, the late 1800s, I believe. So it was originally developed as a dye. They actually made blue jeans out of methylene blue. And so how did it become where we are today? Well, then they started using it. They realized it had antiseptic properties, and they started using it also to stain the slides in labs to look at cell tissue. And what these practitioners or scientists found was that this compound, methylene blue, somehow not only did it stain the slide to make it visible to the eye, but the substance went in and they found that bad or like bacteria or unhealthy parts of the cell or the slide were dying in exposure, and the rest of the cell was getting healthier. So they started asking, what the heck is going on? So as they researched it more, they found out A, that it was safe for human consumption at certain doses, and B, that it has a multitude of effects. So why I like it in concept, but with a warning, is that it works on many different parts of the body. So anytime I can get one substance, whether it's a supplement, a drug, a food, anything that can hit, or a modality and intervention that can hit multiple different pathways, that's a win for me. So this one does that. It is a mitochondrial enhancer, meaning that it actually helps with ATP production through the electron transport chain. So it fuels that. It increases that electron donating capacity and makes you feel better from an energy perspective. So that's number one. Number two, it seems to have broad antimicrobial effects. So like I said, I use it as an antiseptic. It has what seems to be antibacterial, antiviral, potentially antiparasitic. I don't think we fully understand, but it does work in a way to kill bad organisms. The next, which is a really cool benefit, is that it also has the ability to boost serotonin. So serotonin is our main feel-good hormone. Methylene blue can boost the production of serotonin. So this is a great thing, but also one of the warnings associated with taking it is that if you have a history of depression and are on an antidepressant that boosts serotonin, like the SSRIs, Zoloft, Prozac, Lexapro, you really should not take methylene blue. In general, if you're on any type of psych med, I would stay away from methylene blue because we don't fully understand the dynamics of what happens to that medication in your system when you add methylene blue. If you're not on any psych meds, you've had borderline mood issues, it can really help bring a little spark. I remember one of the first times I took it, I found myself, I think it was the next day, I was skipping around my office, and I generally am in a good mood, but I was kind of like, life is good. And then I was like, wait, why do I feel so good? And then I was like, oh, it's the methylene blue. So it was a definite impact I personally noticed. And I do see that with a lot of my patients. And then one other point, it acts as an antioxidant. It cleans up some of the mess that happens with free radicals. So the benefit list is huge. And I'll tell you what's really interesting, why it has made such a comeback is because of COVID. So some of the many things that were good that came from the pandemic was that people started looking for alternative ways to help our bodies. And since COVID and the spike protein seemed to really target mitochondrial function, since it had a stubborn type of virus with potentially some almost parasite or bacterial-like components, methylene blue came out as a perfect part of the regimen because it potentially could help the mitochondrial damage and the diffuse effects at a microbial level that the spike protein was distributing. And there's been several research studies that came out showing benefits of methylene blue. And then one other last point I like to make about it is it's a chromophore, which means that basically it likes light. And when you have light, especially red light coming in, that it gets more active. So it will basically take the next level and it will turn the compound on to be even more effective than it was without the light. So if you're somebody who utilizes red light therapy, you want to make sure that you try the methylene blue with the red light because it gives you 10 times the impact when you do them together. And we do know there are many compounds that are called chromophores that are activated by light, but this is one in particular. So now you might be saying, okay, well, this sounds incredible. How do I get it? What should I do? How much should I take? And I'll say that I'm not against the trend or the concept of methylene blue, but you do have to be careful. It's still early in study. We know that it can be overdosed, so you want to stay at lower doses. I would say, I don't even really want to say a dose, but if you can stick on the lower end that we'll put down in the comments. I'll give you guys a range. That would be a better way. Less is more with methylene blue. You can increase it as tolerated, but if you make sure that if you're on any kind of medications at all, that you check with your doctor to see if it's safe. You also want to be careful because there's something called G6PD deficiency. That is a genetic trait, and methylene blue does not do well. It's dangerous in those patients. Also, there's a lot of people selling methylene blue over the counter or online. People are buying it, and very often it is not pure. So checking your source, getting more of a pharmaceutical grade is really imperative. I cannot stress that enough. I'd rather you not take it than a non-pharmaceutical grade of methylene blue. So be careful, but in the right settings, and until we understand more about methylene blue, in the right settings, I have seen it change people's lives. People and patients that were not functioning, who had chronic fatigue type of symptomatology. We've tried all types of things for potential long COVID. Methylene blue, especially in the setting with red light, and potentially adding oxygen, because that also enhances mitochondrial production, right? If we increase the electron transport capacity with methylene blue, we bring in oxygen and light, then it is a huge win. So take a look, check it out, start low, make sure your body tolerates it. If you're on an antidepressant, stay away, and let us know how you do with this new magical molecule that is not so new.